Give me your
Put me on the spot.
Short history of like boxing before becoming an announcer.
Sure.
Where you come from in terms of, you know.
So
they have to
I appreciate that.
Yeah, they got to trust you.
So I still am working for the Vegas Golden Knights. So 9 years ago, Bill Foley, the owner of the Golden Knights, went on the news here and said, I want to bring a professional hockey team to Las Vegas. And I'm originally from Canada. I played hockey, and I literally picked up the phone and called his office, and I said, I saw your press conference. You want to bring a National Hockey League franchise to Vegas. I want to help you. How can I help you? And I became a part of a committee called Vegas Wants Hockey 9 years ago. The team is in its 7th season. 2 years prior to them even starting, I was helping a committee called Vegas Wants Hockey. And our job was to call you, and I'd be like, yo, Porter, I need $1,000. For what? Season ticket deposit. For what? A hockey team. Which one? Doesn't exist yet. And so we sold 14,000 season ticket deposits over about a 6 to 8 month window. We arranged for the league to know that we had a fan base. They were building T-Mobile Arena, so Bill got awarded a franchise. Then I started working for the Golden Knights as a host. And Todd DeBoeuf, Brad Jacobs, CAA Sports, ESPN, they're in the building one night watching me do my thing at a hockey game. And the following day, whatever, a couple days later, I get a phone call out of the blue from CAA Sports, Nick Khan, who is now running the WWE. But he was the head of CAA Sports, and he called me and he said, hey, his assistant called and said, hey, we represent ESPN, Top Rank Boxing, and they were at a hockey game. They would like to meet with you. Are you interested in working in boxing?
Nice.
And up to that point, I was just a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
That's just like anybody else. Yeah. I would talk shit about everybody, and I'd buy my pay-per-views, I'd go to the fights when I could, but I was just a big fan of the sport.
Yeah.
And so I get a call. I'm on vacation with my wife, and then I get a call from Brad Jacobs from Top Rank, and he said, hey kid, you want to come work for us? And I'm like, yep, I do. Let's do this. Yeah. And so I was kind of thrown to the wolves in the sense, because what's crazy is I didn't set out in school or college to become a sports host. But here I am, having worked a couple seasons with the Raiders, day one with the Golden Knights. I worked directly for the National Hockey League here and there, and now to work, in my opinion, for one of the best promotional companies on the planet in the sport of boxing. I get to hang out with Bob Arum on the weekend. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Seen you on the jet last week.
You're not supposed to tell. Fighters don't like it. But so that's how it all started, you know? And then the bubble was really my sort of coming out party, so to speak. Yeah. The bubble, Top Rank was the first organization to do a bubble in all of sports. Before the NBA, before hockey, they set the standard in how to keep people safe. And so they took over the MGM. We had a private floor dedicated to all staff. You could only get up and down one elevator. We were tested every day. Listen, I don't miss that, shoving those things up your nose, right? And then they took over the convention space and created 2 gyms so fighters could come in advance and train right there on site. There was food and catering provided. Yeah. And we were literally in a bubble. Yeah. And that's when Top Rank said, hey, you're going to be our ring announcer while we're in the bubble. Damn. And I was like, what? Because up to that point, I was just doing interviews, interviewing fighters, doing some documentary type stuff. I sat down with Stitch, had a conversation with Stitch. I was doing stuff in the arena during fights, goofy shit, throwing t-shirts out and doing what I do. The bubble comes around and they go, hey, what do you think about being our ring announcer during the bubble? Obviously, it was a benefit to me because I was local. They didn't have to fly anybody in. I lived here, and I was just like everybody else, out of work. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I get to work during the pandemic. Yeah. And being transparent and honest, I was terrible when I first started. I was nervous.
But now,
I didn't understand the idiosyncrasies of you know. And at the end of the day, I'm an actor, right? Like I started out as an actor, graduated from college and had a wonderful career, 20 years in the entertainment business. Yeah. Good actors are good listeners and they're just reacting in real time. And I had to talk myself off the ledge because I was really nervous. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm not a ring announcer in boxing. Yeah. But as I got more and more comfortable, I started to understand that I was taking what I had learned in college and all those days of acting, just listening and not making it about me, making it about you. because I'm now watching you in the corner. I'm literally looking at you, and I'm like, well, here's Shawn Porter. He's wearing blue with white trim, and it's about you.
Yeah.
I wear all black on purpose. It's kind of become my thing. I want to be the Johnny Cash in there because I don't want people looking at what I'm wearing. It's not about what I'm wearing. It's about you in that moment. And I feel like I've gotten better over the last 4 or 5 years. I feel like I'm starting to find my stride. I don't think it's done by any means. I still have a lot to learn, a lot to discover for myself in the ring.
Have you had any of the boxers, like, after a fight, they tell you that they love the way you announced them?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, like that's the reward for us as ring announcers, right? And one of the things too, like I have great people at Top Rank, great people in my corner, no pun intended, helping me. And I have no ego in this. I want to learn. I want to be, if you said to me, hey, Shunock, I really like the way you did this, but I didn't like that. So all of the producers at ESPN have me on speed dial. And I feel like, we're just starting to finally hit our stride. And I have a great relationship with all the guys in the truck at ESPN. And we're right there putting on a show. It's a show.
Have you done anything to piss off Bob Arum?
No. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. What's funny is we had a Michaela Mayer fight. She was fighting a girl from Montreal. And so we had our press conference, and she didn't speak English. And normally we have a translator out in the house, but I can speak French. And so I started translating and speaking French to the fighter, put her at ease. And Bob, in the middle of the press conference, cuts me off. He goes, holy shit, is there anything this kid can't do? It was great. It was a great moment. And from that point on, Bob and I have had a wonderful relationship. And, like I said, I still have a lot to learn. I'm growing daily in the sport. But just like anybody else who has a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful job, it's... you smile, you nod, you keep it moving, and you just try to roll with the punches.
So now you can just tell us all of what you think about.
But after you said all that, what I get out of there is hell of a work ethic.
Yes.
Nothing came just because you got the opportunities. There was years of work ethic, and you still putting in the work, man. You work your butt off and then keep a smile at the same time. Because I see you talk to the Bob Arum, the biggest guy, with the same attitude and smile you talk to me too. You treat everyone the same, man. You deserve everything you got in life, Mark.
Well,
keep working,
that.
bro.
Well, I appreciate it. I've known you for a long time, longer than Shawn. And I think when your purpose or your mission is clear, my wife and I are we're not spiritual, but we're rooted in the same sense that as we get older, we realize the only thing we're given on this planet is time. And use your time wisely and make sure that you treat others. I know it sounds corny, but treat others how you want to be treated, right? And I said it right when we were talking about the building. I said I wanted to create a building that made artists, bands, hosts, athletes, whoever comes through, feel comfortable. And I try to put that into my work in the way I approach my press conferences, the way when I have the privilege, and I call it a privilege, when I have the privilege to sit down with fighters, and I had the privilege to sit down with you and Terrence at your fight. They didn't hand that press conference off to a more illustrious ESPN reporter. They let me handle that. And that is a privilege to me. That is an honor to be able to sit with Terrence and yourself in fight week. I don't take those opportunities for granted. I do my work. And the same thing happens next week when I get to sit down with Navarrete, with Shakur, De Los Santos, Conceição. Those guys are going to be sitting with me. And I want to make sure that they're at ease so that way they don't feel like they don't have to be anything but their true, authentic self in that moment. Listen, it's the fight game. It's the hurt game. Guys are going to put on a show. They're going to say some shit to make that press conference a little bit more what it needs to be. But at the core, it can't get to that point if those guys aren't feeling comfortable. And that's what I try to pride myself on is coming at them with a very conversational approach and make it easy.
Yeah, boy, he stay doing things the PorterWay, don't he?
That's how he is.
Stay doing things the PorterWay.
Let's go.